Hello, welcome to Current Exposure. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening. Get into the comment section. We're going to be talking about the NBA player Jay Morant flashing his gun or a gun. We don't know if it's his, if it's legal, what. And we're also going to talk about Glorilla, rap artist, who was, I believe, she took a picture, posted. Well, she didn't post it. Somebody else posted an old picture of her with an assault rifle. We're going to talk about as a Second Amendment advocate. Um, I'm going to discuss a different opinion about how I just don't think it was cool the way they were flashing their guns and the behavior that went along with it. And hopefully we'll have Zaire Ruffin coming in and chiming in on that too. And we're going to talk about reparations for descendants of slaves in America. So get into the comments. Good evening, George. Happy Thursday to you. But get into the comments, share your thoughts and everything. So basically, I don't know if anyone knows Jay Morant, the NBA player who was recently suspended for his post second time getting caught, engaging in behavior that reflects urban terrorism and gang culture. We have Zaire Ruffin joining us. Welcome, Zaire.
My apologies, guys, for being a little tardy.
No, that's okay.
So what's going on, Kimber? What we got?
So I briefed everyone. Let me just put the banner in. We're going to be talking about the lifestyle clauses for Black entertainers. So let's get into the reparations for descendants of slaves. And I'll share my point of view. You can share your point of view, and then we'll also get people's comments and what they think. But first, let's talk about Jay Morant, Glorilla, entertainers who, when they get into the industry of entertainment, what comes along with their contracts are lifestyle clauses. And I put in on the ticker, I added that for Black entertainers, but this is usually for all entertainers. But Black entertainers, for some reason, they don't read the contract. I don't know if they went to public schools and had the same reading deficiencies as the third graders in Newark, but once again, they're trying to avoid personal responsibility for the dumb choices that they make when they sign contracts, and now they have to backtrack the stupid behavior that they're displaying. And as Second Amendment advocates, both of us, talk to the people about how distasteful that was and why even you felt that way. Hello? Oh, you you giving me a blank stare right now. You didn't hear me? Okay, I was breaking
I
up.
couldn't because it's freezing and it's going. So.
Oh, really? Okay. But yeah, so talk to us about your opinion.
So what did you ask real quick?
Jay Morant posting the gun and reciting lyrics about shooting them up and things that we don't do as Second Amendment advocates. And we don't have lifestyle clauses. We're not entertainers. We're real people. And we're not entertainers. So
yeah, it's all about it's all about personal character. And if you're outside with the firearm and with an extended magazine, all right, fine. You absolutely can own that, though. Unfortunately, here in New Jersey, we're limited on the magazine capacity, things like that. In some other states, there may be some free gun laws that are much more freer than here in New Jersey. So when it comes to certain things and certain responsibilities, you have to be more attentive to these responsibilities and understand consequences of responsibilities. We
Okay.
see that we have governors that are gun owners, but they don't be outside, flashing their guns to every single body. You know what I'm saying? Let's take Ted Cruz for an example. Ted Cruz, states he owns several AR-15s though. Right? That doesn't mean, excuse me, that doesn't mean he's, a bad person. That doesn't mean that he's outside waving guns around, talking to rap leaders, talking about popping people, right? And so when you open up Pandora's box and other young people see this stuff that may not have the advantages you have of the millions of dollars that you have, right? Or the millions of
Exactly.
followers and things like that you have, you now put yourself in a predicament where as though you're perpetuating violence, inadvertently perpetuating violence, and it's not fair to people who like myself and like yourself, for an example, who live in these
Exactly.
communities, have to be subjected to this violence and at your indirect encouragement. And so it's one thing to have, to partake in Second Amendment protected and concentrated activities, and it's another minute to participate in it and to start flashing guns around. Now it's one thing to go to a gun range and as if I think I'm one of his huge fans, Post Malone. He sings rap and things like that. And he doesn't. He's a Second Amendment advocate. He owns several AR-15. He's go to the gun range. He shoots guns at the gun range, right? And if he does take
Basically.
firearms, take pictures with firearms,
Mm-hmm.
though, because he has to take pictures with firearms, he's properly holding it. He has a sling mount. He has all that, and people know, and you can even tell by the way he handles the firearms, though. He knows what he's doing. So
Right.
it's unfortunate in our community. It's used to perpetuate violence rather than advocacy of knowing what constitutional rights are and what they can be.
Right. Okay. Okay. I'm just bringing up an image of Post Malone. He's at the gun range, and this is stuff. This is see. There's a time and place for certain behavior. Like you said,
Yeah.
when we're at the gun range, okay, we're taking pictures. We're because it's a Second Amendment right, and but we're not going out there advocating urban terrorism and gang culture
Mm-hmm.
to shoot people
Yep.
and do nonsense like that. So let me just bring Post Malone up here so people can see. This is Post Malone. He's the second from the left, third from the
So the
right.
guy in the white T-shirt,
Yes,
he's a
absolutely.
known artist. Yep. I'm very,
Yep.
very, very a huge fan. Favorite song is "Congratulations."
Right, right. But he's not talking
Yeah.
about shooting people in his songs. He's not doing
Mm-hmm.
all of, the gestures to harm people. And
Mm-hmm.
like George states, unfortunately, some glorify violence and make others think it's okay. Then you have weak minds
Yep.
who follow and act out with violence by shooting people, etc. Right, as we saw Mother's Day, the young people robbed uh the vendor that was selling Mother's Day flowers, teddy bears, items, and so on. Took $600 because probably this is something that they've seen entertainers that they follow do. And like you said, these entertainers have millions of dollars where they can fight court cases. They have millions of dollars where they can
Mm-hmm.
pay a publicist to make whatever they did or what was seen disappear and no longer be in the news cycle. And they're not ruining their lives because they live somewhere in a rural area away from everybody and they're in mansions that they can just tuck themselves away in. They don't live in a community, an urban community where you can easily get into something or they don't have the same struggles, and that challenge to thrive. They're not they're not living in poverty, basically. But what
Yeah, they're
I'm
not.
confused about, you have millions of dollars, you have this opportunity that everybody in urban communities are claiming that they don't have because they don't have the economics, they don't have the money. But no, this guy has $1 million, and ironically, he still has a poverty mindset. So to me,
Yep.
I'm thinking like the money doesn't even matter. So does it even matter if people in urban communities have money? If the government pours all this money into the community, is it even going to matter if they have no morals or values or standards? The whole point of having a firearm is for self-protection, not to
And protection
promote
of government.
violence. Right, right.
Yeah.
Not to promote violence, not to go out there. Yeah, it's I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I enjoy going to the range and shooting a firearm. I enjoy that. I have fun doing it, but I'm not my goal is not to shoot anybody. I hope it never ever comes to that, but I want the opportunity to protect myself where I don't have to sit and wait for somebody to kill me. Then
Exactly.
hours later, the police show up to scrape my body up and put me in a body bag. No, I want to have a fighting chance. I'm only like 5'5", 150 pounds, and most likely, somebody that's coming to do harm to me is way bigger than me and way stronger. And for me, a firearm equals that out. I want to be able to protect myself because, yeah, I call the cops. I still have to wait for them to come. In the meantime, what am I going to do? And I don't just have firearms, I have other gadgets too. I have pepper spray, I have knives, I have some other things that, I'm not going to go into details about, but for self-protection, especially in the event of a home invasion. Like this is my sanctuary. I'm going off. And yeah, well, I do Tai Chi. Yeah. Fuji says, well, I need to learn karate. Right, right. I got that in the arsenal too. I got that in the arsenal too. Playing dead, all that. And she said she
I
has
cannot.
a stun gun. I got one of those too. And then they're in certain areas in the house. So if I get, it's a whole routine. And well, you've done routines here, Zaya. Like you set me up with those. George says the key is responsibility. Thank God you're responsible. You're protecting your home, family, etc. Exactly. Exactly. Look, she said playing dead. Yes, you gotta play like, oh, you got me. I'm down. And then when they get closer, element of surprise. George says 2 Sundays ago at 18th Ave near Melrose Ave in Irvington, Newark border, 2 homicides in 2 stores, 894 and 899 18th Ave. Wow, that's the West Ward. That's unfortunate. And this is why I don't go to certain areas too, because why go in those areas where crime is concentrated by these people who are saying they're doing these crimes because of poverty? I don't understand how, if you're hungry and you're starving, how that makes you kill somebody or takes another person's life or takes something that somebody is working hard to earn money to take care of themselves and their family. I don't understand how poverty makes you violent.
Yeah.
I just
if I may, and with some of these I call perpetrators who are hijacking these their talent and losing their talent, such as these basketball players, football players, um, entertainers with established futures, but still have a impoverished mind, right?
Right.
Because they can have
Right.
all the millions in the world to establish their future, but they have an impoverished mind because the fact that no one taught them not just say financial literacy, because that's a whole nother topic though, right? But no one
Yes.
taught them etiquette when they get to these levels, what to do, how to do it, why to do it. And it's not even about mentors, right?
Right.
It's not about mentors, because if mentors really stepped up, LeBron James would have stepped up and said something. Dwayne Wade would have stepped
Right.
up and said something. Michael Jordan, Shaq, all of these people would have stepped up and said something, right? So
Right.
it's also about holding our people accountable if they want to be held accountable. Because everybody talks about accountability, but
Right.
no one talks about accountability for actions. Certain actions like these, these are dangerous actions. At that though, you're riding around a car, which, like I said, it's a carry state. Memphis, Tennessee alone is a carry state. It's a very small state. Let's just not take Memphis into account. Law enforcement presence in some areas are sometimes even non-existent. And so the 30-round magazine,
Right.
that's pretty much all you got to 5 burglars, and the nearest law enforcement officer is
Exactly.
30 minutes away. So, and we understand in certain rural communities, though, yeah, you're gonna have more guns. You're gonna have more people that are armed because and let's just say this also for an example to put out there, law enforcement alone, once again, law enforcement alone is seeing a shortage throughout these communities. There's a national shortage on police officers. Now, we're not just seeing this here, but we're seeing in Baltimore City, you have about 200. Oh, no, not even 200, 600. They're down 600 officers in that department alone, right? And
Wow.
if you look at a lot of different agencies and a lot of urban communities, that to me, I can point it out there, that are ran by these blue, blue states or blue communities, though, or even more sanctuary communities to be exact.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
high perpetuous of a high influx of crime that is happening. And people say, well, why is crime? Is to access to firearms. It's not the access to firearms. It's firearm ownership and responsibility. It's firearms handling. It's firearms education.
Right.
What is a firearm? Why is it? Because we can't just teach people, you know, they're bad. We got to teach people, you know what, though? These are what it's used for. This, the good, the bad, the ugly. And so when people get educated about something much more, it can be fine, though. And it's not even just the easy access to firearm. It's the also media's role that plays in mass hysteria that creates this overwhelming door that there's shootings every day, there's killings every day, when overall crime, from the people that are, FBI statistics states the overall crime is down. You get what I'm saying? So, and
Right.
then mass shootings are have more mass shootings have more coverage than it does in other good things that are happening, right? And so, like, the
Right.
leading cause of death is heart disease. I think that we should deal with that. The gun crime is not even half of gun crime, let alone when they're talking about homicides, firearm by homicides. It's also counting suicides. So you just can't just say, well, we have
Right.
30,000 gun deaths. Well, of the 30,000 gun deaths, more, even more than half of those are
65%.
suicides.
65% are
65% to be exact are
suicides.
suicide. 65%. So we have a suicide issue in America. We don't have we do have a homicide issue in America, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not
Why are
roughly as
people
bad as
blowing
when
their
you take
brains
out the
out?
homicide. Yeah, you have people, but yeah, let's ask about that. Let's talk about more of the mental health issue, that when people have these weapons, what is going on? Why are they doing that? And to me, I take it as I'd rather them do a suicide than they try to kill somebody else. Let's just be honest, right?
Well, yeah, I
So
mean,
when we think
I get
about everything,
you on that.
yeah. So when we think about this, this black entertainment and holding them accountable, the gun in and of itself isn't the problem, because once again, he doesn't have a criminal history, which is fine. He doesn't have a dangerous background, which is fine. All he did was brandish a firearm, but it's his overall conduct that while he was singing the rap video,
The
it was
song.
talking
It
about
was
blowing
about
people and
shooting
things like that,
people.
and the perpetuates violence. About yeah, that's
Right.
exactly what I was saying.
He
So when you
he
have
wasn't
people
talking
that act
about
like that,
self-protection.
it's irresponsible gun ownership. That's just how I feel. And you can't dictate who should and shouldn't own a gun because that's just how I feel, unless they're mentally unstable or they have a significant, to me personally, a significant criminal history. I just think that if somebody gets a felony, last year, everybody makes their mistakes. Everybody does what they do. I think, eventually they have to get their restoration of firearms rights back, though. They should get a lot of, rights back. I think to me, a matter of certain years, but I just really
Mm-hmm.
believe that it's like I said, everybody is not responsible. So I just think that it was irresponsible, let alone firearm ownership. Though it should have been holstered, or it should have been in a safekeeping inside the vehicle. Though he should have had something at least covering the trigger guard, so just in case accidental shootings. And he was pulled out the gun, and just like it was just like, bro,
While
really,
somebody
like
was next
you're
to
an
him.
NBA player, you make yeah, he's an NBA player. He makes a significant amount of money. There's no real reason for him to flash a firearm. There's no significant reason.
Right. Right. I'm just going to bring up Glorilla here and what she
Yep.
said, with her comment for her situation. I mean, it was, I'm like, wow. Wow. Here she is. She says she was a menace in high school and she's so embarrassed. And what's the emoji? The emoji, she's cracking up though. So
I don't find that funny. And I think a lot of these entertainment companies and corporations, and I also think that they should start being significantly held accountable and hold these artists accountable for perpetuating violence throughout these
yes,
communities. I'm
yes,
sorry,
and it's a
certain speech
it's
isn't always free. It comes at a cost. And if
right.
if if, if, we're, if a person is allowed to say whatever they want to say in a rap video, I want to own whatever I want to own in my house. It's just simple. It's just that simple.
But they're glorifying urban terrorism and gang culture. They're like pretty much marketing violence. They're advertising violence. They're brainwashing people, kids who follow them and actually look up to them. I don't know why they're entertainers. I mean, we've never looked up to entertainers. We've just seen them as entertainers. That's what they are, entertainers. They're not people we follow in real life. They're entertainers. But some kids don't understand that distinction. They think these people really live these tough lives and they're out there actually in gangs and all this other stuff, and it's all for show. It's all a facade. It's all for fake. And we're going to get into the reparations conversation too. But Fuji says using authority to their advantage. And she said that Glorilla should be sanctioned for that. You know what? They should start making them do community service in the urban communities. Because at the same time, they're harming the kids. And they should have to come and do cleanups. They should have to come and mentor kids in reading, math, things like that. They should have to come and
Mm-hmm.
help these kids build their community and also deal with violence. Oh, and Fuji says she was not legal. She wasn't legal to bear the arm at the time. So she was a menace. She said it. She was a menace. So now these young kids are a menace, and you're still perpetuating your menace behavior on the microphone, through the
Mm-hmm.
music, and it's like you're making this like it's reality. And it probably was her reality at some point, but there are people still in this reality. There are people, young people, creating, putting themselves in that reality because they think it's cool. They think it's popular to be an idiot. They think it's popular to not take personal responsibility for their actions and make dumb choices like that. And Leonard says, especially in videos with the material things, all part of the video budget, right? Right. And he said that
I just think
also
that at a certain point, when
they wilding at check-in and then they have security. Now, also, yes, going to Lil Meech. I forgot about him when he was like, somebody put that gun in here. I didn't know he's stumbling and fumbling, but you're such a tough guy. You're not so tough when now you're getting pulled to the side and potentially about to get locked up for real and be in jail for real because you want to be stupid and have a firearm in your bag. Like it's cool. Like, what's wrong with these people? It's ignorance is at an all-time high. Maybe they went to school in the public school system where in the third grade kids couldn't read. Maybe that's why. Because I just don't understand why you would think that was okay. Also, Leonard says the ignorance is real. Learn the laws of the land and memorize your constitutional rights. But hey, all kids see is money, guns, and bling. Right. And that brings us into the conversation of reparations for descendants of slaves. People are going to be upset because I don't share the opinion in the media. I don't think there's going to be reparations. I just don't see it. It just does not make sense. Who's paying for it? Number one. Number two, why are they asking for money? Why aren't they asking for things like the kids to be educated? Like the kids that can't read in the third grade in Newark, why aren't they asking for a quality education? Not just any education.
Yep.
Because that's what they're getting right now. They're just going to school, going through the motions, and they're not getting a quality education. But you're talking about reparations? How we just saw Jay Morant, Glorilla, Lil Meech, all this money that they have. And they obviously they're uneducated. And you think that getting money is going to help the Black community? It's not. It's not at all. It's not. It's not. It's not. Money can't, just like money can't buy you love, money can't buy you morals. Money can't buy you standards. And that's the part that I'm not getting. I'm just not understanding that.
It's their upbringing. It's their upbringing.
Right. Money cannot buy you a family structure. That starts in the home.
You know, you shouldn't. Yeah, but you shouldn't have to get millions of dollars and then show your ass in a way that is not indicative to what you did grow up in. You get what I'm saying? Now, it's different for having a stage name and putting on a persona, but you don't struggle no more. I don't understand how Migos, I don't understand how these big time people can start fucking fights backstage at the BET Awards. Like, ain't nobody, you have millions of dollars.
Right. I don't understand it either.
Dollars, and you worry about the next motherfucker. You arguing with somebody whose net worth is less than you, who you know you make more. If you're making $30,000 a night for 2 hours to show your face at a goddamn club, that's what the motherfuckers in there is making.
Right.
So what is the purpose? What's the purpose of it?
But then they'll go.
I just don't understand, Shakima.
I don't understand either. They'll promote your kids to engage in violence. That they have their petty backstage skirmishes. Well, somebody did get shot and they were killed. Like Fuji says, self-destruction, like the old group KRS-One rap. Yep, it's self-destruction. And then she said they'd rather build caskets than school books. Tupac rapped that. Chris says this gun stuff makes me think of Jay Morant. Yeah, we talked about him earlier and how idiotic his behavior was and how he has an impoverished mindset and how money does not take it does not remove that poverty mindset.
And like I said, yeah, it's an established future because his future is already established, but it's the impoverished mindset that constantly reels them back into this false reality of I gotta be a thug, I gotta be that. You're a basketball player.
Exactly.
To me, I've never seen Shaquille O'Neal, and for the long, I don't even watch basketball like this, but I've never seen
I do. You know, just dunk the ball. I want to see the dunk the ball. You know,
yeah, I've never seen Shaquille O'Neal act like that. I've never seen what is this? What are their names? They're all
I saw Latrell Sprewell act. Well, he choked the coach out, but they got rid of him. But like Chris said, it's fake flex energy.
Absolutely.
And kids are believing this because kids are impressionable. They think this is real. And they go out there and they act it out like those kids did on Mother's Day when they robbed the vendor. Yep. And then what's so crazy about it is on video, when you look at the video, you can recognize the kids. You know who they are. You can tell by the build of the body, the haircut, and they had a little face mask on, but you can still see who they know who it is. And the friend too that was with them. So it's wild. Leonard Willer says none of these big time stars allow their kids to listen to this rap music. That's the other thing. Even with Jay Morant, he went to private school.
Yeah, how the fuck you go to private school and you want to be thug?
I understand. We should play Tupac. Shorty want to be a thug. He said he want to be
thug. You try to be fucking down, and
for
you
what?
went to private school.
Yeah, and then what will happen?
Like you have a struggle.
No struggle at all.
They want to have a struggle with no struggle. Where did you struggle?
Like Chris said, it's fake flex energy. Fake flex energy. And George says this is why people get hurt. Sometimes the police overreact with their guns and people overreact with their guns due to misuse of guns. Many don't know who has the guns. And most of the parents raise their kids properly, but unfortunately, some glorify their kids' behavior.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's sad. That's sad. That's sad. So, and I really honestly don't think, I think this whole reparations situation is like fool's gold. It's not going to happen. You have look at these entertainers, these black entertainers and athletes that's making millions and millions and millions of dollars. Why would there be reparations? Why would they be? And who's paying for it? Who's paying for it? It's not going to happen because you cannot buy people's mindsets out of poverty and out of being impoverished. You cannot. You can't.
Yep, don't.
Fuji says when they fail to be down, they want to blame others and kill themselves. Yep. Yeah. And then look what happened with Migos.
Yep. Negativity.
The man ended up getting killed. We saw all this play out too, even with Tupac and Biggie. Like, oh my gosh.
I saw the video. There was a video of the fight, and then the shots fired started happening.
Right.
Once again, why the fuck are you playing that? Number one, you're in Houston. Your security should be on point because you're in a gun state. That's my knowledge. You get what I'm saying though? Because
Exactly.
anybody can own a fucking gun here. So it's different than moving how you moving in New Jersey than you moving in out there. You get what I'm saying though?
Right.
Because any and
Right.
everybody can own a fucking firearm. You get what I'm saying though? So now you should be on point, but then you going around doing nigga shit playing fucking dice. Playing dice and all this like nigga activity. You got millions of dollars and you going around playing fucking dice. Now if you was gonna play dice though, you control the fucking venue. You tell security, you hire a bunch of people. Look, I'm about to have, if I have millions of dollars and I move like that, you gotta move smart and you gotta think smart. You get what I'm saying though? You can ask, you know what, I might have to pay $20,000 worth of security just to go out to this area though. But guess what? You gonna pay for $30,000 of good security work. It depends on who you hire, right?
Right.
And you say, look, I want to get a dice game going. Matter of fact, let me ask some people I know from out here. Hey, let's come out here. Let's go do some dice stuff. But y'all gonna have to get searched before y'all come in, because we ain't gonna have no weapons, and y'all ain't gonna have no weapons. You get what I'm saying though?
Right.
It's about moving smart. Like to me, if I had millions like that, I wouldn't even be seen like that. Your presence, you shouldn't be seen. That's how Jay-Z and Beyonce got there. That's how actually you move your net worth up. If people really think about it, you move your net worth up by staying out of the spotlight for negative things, and let alone out of the spotlight when you're not doing certain things. You get what I'm saying? Like if you're not at a
Yes.
movie premiere or nothing like that, you shouldn't even be seen by the paparazzi. That's how you
Right.
keep your wealth up. Cause it's
Right.
like, oh, where he gonna be at today? We gonna be at today. Where this person gonna be at? Where that person? Look at Jennifer Aniston. She's not seen, but yo, when they see her, they come out in force.
Right.
Paris Hilton.
Right.
When they see her, they come out in force. That's what makes you. That's what makes you are. And I'm gonna tell you right now, though, right? People are gonna start paying to see you. See, because the closer and you make other people about next to you get, their welfare look, you wanna, see this person or see that person. You gotta go through certain people, and you gotta pay to go to certain people. You get what I'm saying? And that's what once again, you get your money like that though. So if a club owner wants to get in contact with you, look, to let alone put a request in, that's about $1,500. Depending on which, to request for me to come to your club, that's the $1,500. So even if it gets denied, you'll have to say no. You still get $1,500 just for a no.
Right. 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 Right.
That's
And
how
you
you make
digging
your
yourself
money.
out of poverty though.
Like I said,
I thought that was the whole point. I thought that was the point.
it's the impoverished mindset.
But then you want to play, you want to do stuff.
That's how you make your money.
Dice. How many
Like
people
you
died?
died over a dice game that you won.
Right. Right. But look, how many people in the history too? This is probably not finite stat, but how many times have we heard people in the community, in the urban community, losing their life over a dice game?
A lot.
Hundreds of times.
A lot.
So when it happened, I'm like, oh wow, that was
stupid. He died on some
stupid.
nigga shit. I'm sorry. He died on some straight up thug. I want to be this, and all that. You died on that.
So and what do they? There's a term for that. It's called self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yep.
It circles back around. You go to the top, and if you don't change your mindset and you don't develop
weird
personally, your whole self, you regress and you become what you started out as.
Exactly.
Which is nothing. Sorry to be that harsh, but Chris says, do you remember Plaxico, that football player, the one who shot himself?
For what though?
Well, he had a gun, and I don't know if he was being cool in the club or whatever, shot himself in the leg.
Oh, wow, that's back in the day. Wow. Yeah, I remember that.
Idiot, another idiot. They're making money to destroy the urban youth and children, period. This is what Fuji is saying. And you know what? It's so crazy because it doesn't have to be this way. They're choosing. They have a choice. Parents have a choice to guide their children in another direction. And they're not choosing to. Like, I just don't understand why parents don't fight with their kids over the type of music they're listening to. I used to have to hide some music I was listening to because I knew I wasn't supposed to be listening to that. And I knew, but I had common sense though, at least to know that's entertainment and my parents don't understand. But I wasn't going out trying to do the stuff in the music I was listening to. It was just like,
Absolutely.
entertainment, and I'm like, oh wow, that's interesting. And I really
My
saw it as art. Now it's not even art. I don't know what the heck is going on with the music. I don't know.
it's
I
my
don't
thing
know.
is everybody wants to put on this persona that I have to be tough. I have to be this, and that wasn't really what it was. Even more so back in the day, it wasn't like that. It was beefs here and there. Like I guess toward the '90s, the gunplay started to get involved. But the beefs was just we beefing, but I'm beefing to get you outside, to get you active, to try to get you another album out of you, to try to get something. That's what some real rappers were doing to their friend buddy rappers. Like people thought it was a beef, but you was just galvanizing them to respond so they can get music out there. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? That was another way of them communicating with one another. But it's not even, like I said, it's not even that though. You got people out here that don't know how to make money. Everybody wants to, I make 300,000 on a show. I make this on a show. I make that.
They
Fine.
don't have any skill
Now,
sets.
but
They
but
don't
but
have they
they
don't
just
they don't have
skill set.
knowledge, skills, or
Yeah, but
ability.
Yeah, but it's not even just with that though. It's the whole purpose of you go to the entertainment industry to stay low key, right? If you look at Denzel, you don't see Denzel everywhere. Your presence alone will decrease your value. The more people see you, the more they're gonna get tired of you. So you're not gonna be worth going to see because I can see that motherfucker
Right.
on Instagram. So you gotta post like how
Right.
Beyonce posts once a month, every 2 3 months, but you don't see her at all. And if you do, she go through the back way. Not because she too bougie to go to the front, because she know it's a money game. The more you see me, the less you gonna pay for me.
Yeah.
Now, the less you
And
see
that's
me,
the
the more I'm gonna
entertainment
be a commodity
industry.
for you to pay for me.
And that's the entertainment
A
industry.
lot of them
That's the
don't.
way it
No.
works.
They know. Hold on, kid. They know the rap industry. Now, the rap industry, how to throw an album out, how to do it, but they don't know nothing about entertainment because they don't understand rap comes through the means of entertainment. Hip hop comes to me entertainment though. The more they see of you, they're gonna be like, oh well, he's cool. Nah, you gotta show less of you. Less will get you more, and not only will less will get you more, but less will keep you safe. A lot of them don't understand that though, because the more they see you, the more bullshit they see old boy in with the gun situation. That's what I'm trying to
Oh,
explain. They're
yeah.
gonna
What if somebody tests them? What if he's at
exactly. Oh, this
Starbucks?
motherfucker got a strap. Oh, I'm gonna test him. He got a strap. I'm gonna take it. You got motherfuckers that's crazy like that. I'm gonna take it. They got
Right.
motherfuckers that start whole shootouts. And my thing is, like I said, everybody ain't a responsible gun owner. They don't go to the range like how me and you go to the range. They don't practice how me and you practice. They don't shoot the way me and you shoot.
And that's
They're
how
not consistent
innocent
the way me
people
and you
get
are
shot.
consistent. That's how a
Yeah, and
lot of
that's
innocent
how.
people get shot. You got irresponsible ass motherfuckers that's out here with these long ass magazines and all this other extra shit. To me, to be honest, and they get into wild ass gun battles.
Yeah.
That's just what
Yeah,
I'm
like it's
saying.
a movie.
Like, yeah,
Even everything, even the way people are driving now with the cars flipped over, and I'm
yep,
like, how
yep,
stupid! Like it's like we're kind of regressing. The generation that's coming up is regressing. They're not as smart as we are.
absolutely.
They're not as cautious about other people's lives. Their morality is lower. They don't
Yep.
really care about nobody. They don't even care about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just mind blowing to me. And you got people talking about, oh, poverty, we need reparations. It's we're suffering because of the black community is suffering because of slavery. And I like what George is saying too. Some want to act like they're in Afghanistan.
Oh, what? What the? They
Yeah,
don't even know what Afghanistan is really like.
yeah, and
They
it's
don't know what.
wild. It's
They don't
wild. They
even know.
wouldn't even
It,
survive. They would not
they
even
wouldn't survive.
survive.
They wouldn't even
They would
survive.
not survive.
Mm-mm.
That is serious there. I've seen some stuff where some
Mm-hmm.
really wild stuff. But back to my point, like
Mm-hmm.
I don't I people are blaming you. You have these so-called anointed ones or whatever that are saying that all this negativity in the urban community is happening because of slavery and reparations need to be paid out. But I don't think so because people were thriving. People were thriving. Black people were thriving when slavery was outlawed. Black
And
people weren't going
you
around
had
shooting and killing each other.
you
Now,
had
I don't
people
know
like
what happened in between that point to now. Black people had morals. There was a family structure. Now you have
yeah,
this increased father desertion situation. And I'm not
it's
even, and you
having
know what?
babies by people you don't know. Let's talk about that. The
Yeah,
the 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 children born out of wedlock, who parents have them, but you only lust for a relationship. The idea of having a child without the parent being around, without the other significant
yeah.
other. So I'm not understanding how is that you have been desensitized, and I think that this is once
No
again
family
college
structure.
desensitized to no family structure, but let alone having children and being the baby mama, being baby daddy, and it's okay. It's not okay.
Right.
It's not cool.
It's not. It's
It's
not
not okay.
because what values are you teaching your children? How are you able to teach values to your
Mm-hmm.
children if you've deserted them? You
Mm-hmm.
know, and then and you know, I want to give props to some single women out there, single parents that are out there that do raise good kids and do, you know, bust their butts and
Mm-hmm.
then they do have a support system and some of them don't, but they know how to build that with neighbors and other relatives. I'm just I don't know. Like this is
Mm-hmm.
crazy to me. I didn't know kids were growing up like this. I just assumed like it was a family, I don't know, a family like we had, and
Yeah, it's not.
everybody gets together for birthdays, for even for
It's
nothing, just to
not.
hang out, spend time, and then it's morals and it's structure.
Yep. Yep.
Everybody, you know, we come see each other, hugs, kisses, all that good stuff. To the point where it's like I think I have more relatives than I have friends because it's
Yep.
like I can't. It's hard to make friends. I already got all these other people in my
Yep.
life.
Yep.
Like I'm content with the amount of people in my life. But I thought for some reason, and that was just me being naive. I'm I, yeah, it's like people are like, "Oh, my father wasn't there, so this is why I'm nutty," and I'm like, "What? This is why I don't care." And I'm like, "Okay, if you can say that, get yourself some help.
Mm-hmm.
Stop leaning on that crutch."
Yep.
Um, Fuji says it's going to get worse. There's no home structure in the community,
There isn't.
and it's crazy. It's
Yep.
crazy.
There isn't.
Like that whole situation where those kids robbed that vendor on Mother's Day said a lot to me. Like, what is wrong? Do these kids hate their mother?
Yep.
Is there a grudge with the mother? And
Yep.
then you're robbing somebody who's earning a living on as a vendor. He doesn't have an actual storefront. He just set up a table that he probably got from Staples, put some items up there that he
Mm-hmm.
probably, you know, worked hard from another job to buy those items, to resell them, to make money, and they robbed him. They robbed this of on Mother's Day of mother, like took his money, $600. I just, you can't have a
Yep.
family structure doing something like that. That's barbaric. To me,
Yep.
that's barbaric.
Yep.
That has nothing to do with poverty either. On Mother's Day, and the grandmother is 33 and the mothers are 28 with the 15-year-old son that's about to have a newborn baby with a 13-year-old baby mother. Yeah, it's
Yep.
wild out here.
Yep.
This is what Fuji said. Yeah, that's wild. Teen pregnancy, like high it's increased in the Black community.
Yep.
And that's just unhealthy. Well, you have people promoting that too. Oh,
Yep.
well, I had, you have a council person that glorified that, and even glorified having a single mom, and it's like, huh? Well, why would you put that out there like that? Are you ignorant?
Yep.
But and this is the people that they follow. I think I'm just stepping away because I really can't promote that. I cannot promote that narrative. And this is the same politicians also pushing for reparations. Why? Work hard like everybody else. Bust your butt, do your research, gain some knowledge and skills, and apply yourself like everybody else. And I just don't see reparations even happening, because if Joe Biden was going to do it, he would have done it. How much has gone to Ukraine right now? How many billions? 100? How many
Billion.
billions? 20? Was it 20 billion?
That was more. It was in the
Well,
billions. And we're not including talking about just the billions in aid. We're talking about fighter, missiles that were given to them, the ammunition, some
exactly,
guns that were given to them. It's in the
exactly.
100 million. It's definitely in the
So
100 millions.
right, and then the 120 million that went to, I think, was that Ghana, to support the LGBT whatever situation going on over
Yeah.
there.
Can't even
I
support people
for,
in your backyard. And I just want to
exactly.
say
So
this right
so this
here.
is why, right? So this is why I believe reparations is not going to happen, and people need to stop waiting for these BS politicians to save them, because they're not. They have their own agenda, which
Uh-huh.
is themselves, the advancement of themselves financially. And they dangle reparations and all that talk in front of people like their horse, like it's a carrot and they're a horse, and they got the people chasing it. It's not going to happen. And then you have people in the community coming out talking like they're an intellectual on the subject and didn't even do their research.
Yeah. To really be honest, you gotta deal with
Like,
fucking
come on
idiots.
now. Do you want a hand up or a hand out? If you want a hand out, let me know. Let me know.
We can arrange that
Because
since you're so fucking used to it.
exactly. How about they come and cut some trees in my backyard and I give them a handout for that? How about I do that? But they won't do no real work to earn no money.
Yep.
They just want it given to them. Come on, develop yourself. And then why are you asking for money? Money comes and money goes. That's not, money is not sustainable. Like they give you, they get $100. It's going to burn a hole in their pocket. It will be gone in
Okay, that
30
shit can't.
minutes. First of all,
Man,
$100,
I had
that's
$100
nothing.
for 2 weeks. I held on to the. People don't believe me. I held on to $100 in 2 weeks.
Well, you would, because you have financial common sense, but the people that are asking for money, and you have to be
They
careful
spent
about
it on
these
weed.
people.
They
Right,
spent it on
right.
weed.
They're gonna go
I had to tell a
to
friend.
weed and
He moved to Houston with a
alcohol
bunch of his
and
friends. Nah, I had
right.
a friend that moved to Houston with a bunch of his friends, two of his best friends. They had spent all their money on weed. They couldn't even pay rent. They actually had to move back up here. I said, what a failure. What a fucking failure.
Exactly. Exactly. And they'll say, "Oh, I felt because of poverty. I felt because of the effects of slavery." How like I'm like thinking like, okay, did slavery end last week
Mm-hmm.
or centuries ago? How many
Yep.
when I don't even remember because I wasn't there. But
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm not suffering from the impact of slavery. I'm far removed from that. I just don't understand how they were able to reach back that far in the past and skip after. They talk about Tulsa too. They talk about Tulsa and how it was bound. Okay, so after slavery, black people thrived and built Tulsa. Okay, white supremacy destroyed it. The government had a hand in that. Okay, how come there's no more Tulsas being built then? That first of all, the capacity for it to happen is there.
Yep.
You can't tell
Yep.
me because of slavery. No, it's because of ignorance. It's because of the low quality education. It's because of the destroyed family structure. It's because of the low morality. People have no type of they have there's no community
Mm-hmm.
at whatsoever. That's what's destroying the black community. If we want to be serious and for real,
Yep.
economics. Oh, we don't have economics, this and that. Okay, but you have we throw some money at to solve the problem and you say it's going to help your small business, but you don't have no customer service skills. You don't have any customer service skills to maintain that business. You don't know how
Absolutely.
to talk to the customers. You don't know how to open up on time, the time that you say the store opens. You don't know how to make sure the inventory is available. So when
We
the
had that
customers
happen
come
before.
in, you don't be like, okay, well, where the items? Where the items at? you have me. I'm here to support, and then you tell people, oh, nobody's buying black because you don't know how to manage your business. That's why these are the issues, and then people they want to start this national reparations thing. Okay, good luck with that. They want to protest. I think that the time for reparations to happen, if it was going to happen, was when Dr. King was pushing for it, but he was assassinated and it didn't happen. But then there were advancements. Harlem, you had Harlem, black people thriving. So I just don't understand how we're back at slavery. I just don't understand. And then no protests. We have no protests over kids falling below reading their grade, the reading level for their grade. But we have protests for reparations and we have protests for people to push their political agendas. We don't have any protests for high quality education. We just have protests for silly nonsense. And Fuji says we are in modern day slavery. Mental, the miseducation of the Negro. There's a book with that same title. People should read it because that's what's happening to people who are not succeeding and thriving in the Black culture. They're being miseducated. Exactly. Where's Al Sharpton for our kids not being able to read? And he has the key to the city of Newark. I just, I guess it's of no interest to him. No interest at all for him to protest the lack of high quality education that we have here in the city. It doesn't put money in his pockets. Not at all. The urban terrorism, addressing that. Where are the protests for that? For kids going around carjacking people and robbing them on Mother's Day. Exactly. Fuji says they gave up on us and want us to give up as well. Exactly. Exactly. And store was robbed in Short Hills Mall. Wow. Politics. Yes. That's what it is. Politics. Counterproductive politics. The government getting involved and interfering and making things worse. And you know what? I think it could be good government where they can come in and make things right, but the people we have in there are the problem. If those people are not there and we have more quality people, people that actually care and people who are dedicated and committed to truly uplifting the community, then we would see some changes. We would definitely see some changes. It's so bad that I think kids now we need to institute character for 8-year-olds. What's that? 3rd grade? We need to start teaching them about morals and values in school if they're not going to get it at home, because what's going to ultimately happen with these kids, they're going to go to jail. They're going to end up like the George Floyds. They're going to end up like the Jordan Neelys, where people do what they will, get tired of them and, you know, treat them like they're nothing. So, and it's sad. It's very sad. It's very sad. It's just, I just feel like we're going backwards. We're not moving forward at all. Fuji says the urban said they want to stand, so this is the time. FEMA camps are about to come. Oh, I heard they were already here. So I just don't know what's going to happen. Have no idea. But I'm going to wrap this up. We lost Zaire. We'll get him back. Nobody got into the comments about reparations. What does anyone think? Do you really think it's going to seriously happen? I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. And then you know what else happened too? There were the people who in California that were talking about, that were on the reparations task force. They started fighting amongst each other. The Black people started fighting amongst each other just like they do in the community, just like in the dice game. Just like in the dice game. Leonard says they couldn't begin to pay what the torment and abuse is worth. Exactly. It's not going to happen. The time, even the time is not right for it. It was supposed to happen during the civil rights movement, and that's what Dr. King was pushing for when he said we're going to get our checks. That was a famous line that I'm surprised nobody posts that anywhere, but that's what he was talking about. Reparations for Black people so that we can get into the game. But then because we didn't have that, we still got into the game. Some of us, not all of us, but and that's the other thing. People think that we're all supposed to succeed. No, we're not, because all of us don't put in the same. You give, you get what you give. If you're putting in 100%, you're going to get back 100%. If you're putting in 10%, you shouldn't expect 100%. That's not fair. That's not fair to the person that's giving 100%. Now, if you have a disability where you can't give 100%, okay, that's different, and that's understandable. But you can't be the one giving 10% because you have a disability, but you expect 100% and you expect to lead the community. No. And this is what we have right now. We have people who don't even have the mindset, the brains, sitting in leadership roles trying to dictate to us. You can't dictate to a person who has 100% full brain when you only have a quarter of a brain. And your quarter of a brain is equal to 10% of that person's 100% brain. If anyone's following the math, I hope I didn't confuse anybody. But Leonard says, just tell the truth about our world's history and then we can start to repair and heal. But you know what? We already know the truth. And if we really want to talk about the truth, let's talk about slavery in general. Let's talk about slavery that's still happening in Sudan. Who's protesting that? Let's talk about slavery that's still happening in other parts of the world today. Let's talk about that. And if we're really going to tell the truth, let's talk about who had the slaves back then. Let's talk about the third of Louisiana slaveholders were Black. Let's talk about that. If we're really going to deal with that, and that's another reason why I don't think reparations are going to happen, because you had Black people who were thriving in the South, and they did have slaves. They had slaves. So how can you pick and choose who to hold accountable and not hold others accountable if we're really going to deal with the facts? But then you got to have people that's willing to do research, real research, and not just do this all the time, because that's what we're getting. That's what we're getting. I agree. Ignorant and illiteracy. And Leonard says you got elected officials who believe promoting a culture of hip hop, but then they say they're for peace, but the music and nonsense they promote says otherwise. Exactly. 24 hours of peace. What music was being promulgated? Drug use, more activities that lead to father desertion and the breakdown of the family structure. I was there, so I know what they were talking about. And then you do have a councilman that did a whole song about glorifying doing drugs. So I mean, you know, and you got to look at people who follow these people. You have to look at people who validate these people as leaders. They're not leaders. They're not leaders at all. Lennon says, man, people still call it the I Have a Dream speech when it was titled Normalcy, Never Again. Right. That's like, we have to deal with some hardcore facts. And we have people doing that because people don't know the history. They don't do their research. They just get on a soapbox and start talking, not knowing what they're talking about. That's what they do. And some people are so enchanted by the way they piece the words together, and they believe it, and they don't even verify. They don't even follow up to what the person is saying. They don't even double check. But I just like went off. I was supposed to end the show and I was brought back in because it started to, the conversation started to get stimulating, especially with the comments. Thank you for the comments. I appreciate that. But right, we have to really start being for real and looking at the reality. We have to look at the reality. Every Black person is not going to succeed because that's not what they're given. And it's not always because there's an injustice. Sometimes it's just because of their bad choices, their bad decisions, and their lack of taking personal responsibility for their behavior. So I think if we start being real about that stuff, then I think we can move along. I think if we start being real about how we attack each other without any real legitimacy just because of ego and envy, we have to deal with those things too. And now we have mental health. People are acknowledging mental health. You even had a councilman saying he has mental health issues and needs to get therapy, but you guys are going to follow him? I'm not, because if something's wrong with your brain and nothing's wrong with my brain, why would I follow you? You're going to lead me into disaster and chaos, and that's what we are. That's what we are in the Westwood. Leonard says people want equity and equality, but to put in work for that outcome. Yeah, they don't want to put it in. They don't want to put anything in, and then people don't want to stay in their lanes. You'll have someone who's a rocket scientist, and you'll have somebody else who's just existing. They'll cut into the rocket scientist lane and try to be the rocket scientist and screw everything up. We have a lot of that going on. People cutting into each other's lanes. And Fuji says a fool can lead you to death. The Bible said it. Yeah. America is built of lies, distraction, drugs, and sex. And Leonard says they don't want more. They just seem to want more done for them. Exactly. And we have to also address that. Do you want a hand out or do you want a hand up? Like, which one is it? Do you want to get, which one is it? Let that be known, so we know how to address you and deal with you. If you want a handout, okay, all right. Don't try to cut in the line where people work hard and try to get in the front and take what they've worked hard for. It's not going, that's just not going to turn out good. You're going to have conflict, unnecessary conflict, because those people earned their respect. You can't just come from out of nowhere and cut the line. But they do it here, and people accept that. Oh, just give them a chance. You didn't give them a chance for what? To lead me to devastation and destruction? And those people, I don't even say certain things, but sometimes I just want to say, do I look stupid? Do I look like you? Do you see me? When you look at me, do you see yourself? Because if you see yourself and I follow you, giving somebody a chance that's gonna lead, that has a pathway toward destruction, then I must look stupid. If they see themselves in me, but they know they don't. So I would never Yeah, I would never follow a person just because or they seem nice. That's good. I'm glad that person is nice to you. But if they can't do the job, nice doesn't mean anything. That's just like having a good looking spouse and they can they don't bring nothing to the relationship. What's the point if all they're going to do is look good? So what's the point of a leader if all they're going to do is be nice? You can't get the job done being nice. That's not even a prerequisite. But and then it's fake nice. It's fake nice because they're not even being genuine. They got to pretend to be nice so you don't hold them accountable. And people fall for that because they're just not that bright. I'm sorry to say it, but that's the truth. But I won't hold anyone up. I am going to get out of here. This has been Current Exposure. I had fun. I hope you all have fun. Thank you for the comments. I hope you subscribe. We're on YouTube, so you can just go on, look us up. You just can't comment. There's no live comments on YouTube, but you can replay, share, hit the subscribe button so I'll pop up when I go live again. But next week we have something planned. We're going to get into the trans discussion again. We're revisiting that. So we're going to have a really serious conversation about that. We're talking about spirituality. We're going to be talking about human anatomy. And is this a fantasy or not? So I hope you all tune into that next week on May 24th, 6 o'clock. We'll be on. There'll be a few of us up there. And other than that, I hope you have a good weekend. Peace. I'm out.